In early 2019, a security van carrying over 200 million naira disappeared for exactly 9 hours in Lagos. When the van was finally found, the money was untouched, but the three men assigned to protect it had vanished. 2 weeks later, one of them walked into a police station barefoot. He was covered in blood and said something the detectives never forgot. If my brother calls you, don't answer. Money changes people, but desperation changes them faster. That was the lesson the investigators learned from the Ajah Cash Transit case. A case so disturbing that many officers involved refused to discuss it publicly afterwards. At the center of the story were two brothers, Samuel Bello and Emmanuel Bello. To outsiders, they look inseparable, but by the end of 2019, one brother would destroy the other completely. If you enjoy real stories like this one, then you are in the right place. Kindly hit the like button right now and subscribe to this channel to join the amazing family because you don't want to miss the next story. Without wasting time, let's get into today's story. Samuel is the older brother and he is well disciplined and very respected. He's 38 years old and they had fathered two daughters. He worked as a security escort for a private car transit company in Lagos. His life wasn't luxurious, but it was stable. Emmanuel was different. He's younger, charismatic, and ambitious. He's always chasing big opportunities. But beneath the confidence, Emmanuel carried dangerous frustration. He hated poverty intensely. He hated watching wealthy politicians steal millions while ordinary people suffer daily. And over time, that anger became obsession. Years earlier, Emmanuel introduced Samuel to his closest friend, Victor Adeniran. Victor is a businessman involved in logistics and transportation, or at least that was what he claimed publicly. In reality, Victor secretly laundered money for criminal network operating between Lagos and Port Harcourt, but Samuel knew none of this. To him, Victor was simply family. The three men became extremely close. They had birthdays together, they celebrate Christmas together, and even their children played together. And that was what made the betrayal so later horrifying. In early 2019, Emmanuel approached Samuel privately with a plan, a dangerous one. He claimed Victor discovered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And according to Emmanuel, corrupt politicians regularly move illegal cash through Samuel's company using unofficial channels, untraceable money, dirty money. And Victor wanted to intercept one shipment, just one, then he would disappear permanently. Samuel refused immediately. He wanted no part in the robbery, but Emmanuel kept pressuring him for months. At first, it was gently, then he started manipulating him emotionally. He rendered Samuel about the unpaid school fees of his daughters, the due rents, and their sick mother hospital bills. Eventually, Samuel began weakening, not because he was greedy, but because he was exhausted. That's how most real tragedies begin. Not with evil people, but with tired people making terrible choices slowly. Then Samuel agreed to the plan. The target was simple, a transit van scheduled to transport over 200 million naira between Victoria Island and Lekki. And according to Victor, there will be no police escorts, there will be no GPS tracking, and no official documentation. It will be easy money for them. The plan required only one thing from Samuel. He should delay the van briefly near an abandoned warehouse, and Victor's men will handle the rest. Nobody will get hurt, or at least that was what Victor promised. Around this time, Samuel met someone unexpectedly, a nurse named Ifeoma. Ifeoma is quiet, intelligent, and very kind. Unlike everyone around Samuel, she valued honesty deeply. And gradually, Samuel started opening up emotionally to her, not fully, but enough. And Ifeoma noticed the stress consuming him. And one evening, she told him something simple that later haunted him forever. The worst prison are usually built from shortcuts. Emmanuel laughed at that time. But secretly, he already knew he was trapped in the dangerous plan and he could not step back. In October 11th, 2019, around 7 p.m., heavy rain covered most parts of the Lagos that evening. Exactly as Victor predicted, Samuel entered the transit van with two other guards. Everything appeared normal. But shortly after passing Anja, Samuel intentionally redirected the driver towards the warehouse route according to the plan. And that single decision destroyed everything. Minutes later, two SUV blocked the road. Four armed men emerged immediately. They were fast and professional, and the robbery began immediately. But something was wrong instantly. Because Victor lied, the robbery was never going to be non-violent. One security guard resisted and he was shot immediately. The driver tried escaping, then another gunshot. He died immediately. Samuel stood frozen in horror. This wasn't theft anymore. Then Samuel saw a man step out of one of the SUV, holding a gun, and he was smiling nervously. That moment changed Samuel forever, because suddenly he realized his younger brother wasn't trapped in this plan. He helped create it. Victor ordered the bodies removed immediately. Then he revealed the real plan to them. Nobody involved would remain alive. Not the witnesses, not the accomplice, and not even Samuel himself. Panic spread instantly, and Samuel confronted Emmanuel violently. He demanded answers from him. But Emmanuel finally exploded emotionally. Years of resentment poured out at once. He blamed Samuel for always playing safe. He blamed poverty. He blamed the society. He blamed everybody but himself. Then he said something so terrifying. Good people stay broke forever. Victor's men forced Samuel into another bedroom, and the 200 million naira disappeared into the night. Samuel was taken to an abandoned fish processing warehouse near the water, and that is when Victor revealed his true business completely. The robbery money was only part of a much larger oil laundering operation involving many politicians, kidnappers, and oil smugglers. Samuel realized too late he had entered a world far darker than ordinary robbery, and now he knew too much. But something unexpected happened. Emmanuel began breaking mentally. The dead driver face haunted him immediately. The screaming, the blood, and reality finally crashed into him. Crime always looked glamorous before consequences arrived, and that night, Emmanuel secretly tried helping Samuel escape. But Victor discovered the betrayal instantly, and Emmanuel was captured. And that is when the real nightmare began. Victor ordered both brothers restrained separately. Then he forced Emmanuel to watch while Samuel was getting beaten repeatedly. Not for information, but for disobedience. Victor wanted control, fear, and absolute loyalty. But fear is unstable, and eventually, desperate people becomes dangerous. Around 3 a.m., police unknowingly disrupted the warehouse after nearby residents reported multiple gunshots. Chaos erupted instantly. Victor's men scattered. Bullets were flying everywhere. Then Samuel managed escaping through a broken side entrance, but Emmanuel couldn't escape because Victor had fought him first. Samuel heard his brothers screaming as he ran, and for one terrible moment, he almost went back for survival mode, and that decision haunted him forever afterwards. By morning, Victor vanished, the money vanished, Emmanuel vanished. Police recovered only partial evidence, and because Samuel participated initially, the police struggled trusting his testimony fully. Media coverage exploded nationwide, and everyone wanted answers. But the deeper the investigators searched, the more powerful names appeared to be connected to this mystery. Soon, the case became politically dangerous. Then suddenly, he disappeared from police entirely. And during the investigation, Ifeoma stayed beside Samuel despite everything, not because she excused his action, but because she believed guilt means nothing without change. She forced Samuel to confront the hard truth. Desperation is not justification. Poverty does not excuse violence, and shortcuts usually collect immense later. And for the first time in years, Samuel stopped blaming life for his decision, and he started accepting responsibility instead. 2 weeks later, Samuel received a private phone call from an unknown number. It was Emmanuel. He's alive, but barely breathing. He claimed Victor was haunting everyone connected to the robbery. Then Emmanuel whispered something so horrifying. Victor kills you. Records of all the politicians, all the executions, the bribe others. He kept enough evidence to destroy powerful people nationwide. Then Emmanuel begged Samuel not to trust the police completely because some of the officers were already compromised. But before ending, Emmanuel said one final thing. I wanted money so badly that I forgot what being a human felt like. The line disconnected and was unreachable afterwards. Days later, Samuel discovered Emmanuel's hidden location through a clue left during the call. It was an abandoned church outside the village, and inside the church, Samuel found deposits, arthrites, financial records, and evidence connecting dozens of crimes. But there was no Emmanuel, only blood. At that moment, Samuel faced the biggest decision of his life: sell the evidence and escape rich, or expose everything publicly, knowing powerful people would target him forever. And for several hours, he considered running away. Of course, nobody would blame him, but then he remembered the dead driver, the murdered car, and his two daughters. He felt more words about shortcuts, so Samuel made the hardest choice of his life. He handed everything to a journalist in charge of the investigation. The leak exploded nationally. Politicians resigned, multiple people get arrested, several companies collapsed, and Victor disappeared overnight. Rumors claimed he escaped Nigeria entirely. Others believed he was silenced by the same powerful people he once worked for. Officially, his fate remains unknown, and Emmanuel, his body was never recovered. Some people believed Victor killed him, others believed he escaped secretly, and Samuel himself never stopped searching for his brother. Years later, Samuel gave one interview about the case, and during that interview, he said something many people still hold till today: poverty can pressure people, but greed finishes the job. Because the truth is, the robbery never began because the brothers were starving. It began because they wanted faster success, they wanted faster respect, and faster escape. And real life punishes impatience brutally. Today, Samuel works quietly with a non-profit organization, helping former offenders rebuild their life legally, not because he thinks he's innocent, but because guilt without redemption becomes another kind of prison. And every October, Samuel still visits the old church, still hoping his brother somehow survived, still wondering whether one decision could have saved both of them. And according to people close to him, he never answers the closing puzzle. Because the last time someone heard Emmanuel's voice, his brother was behind the black, while someone was protected